Hello everybody, and welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons! Today we got some mail, we got everything from Daisy May, we do whatever pleases us. And a letter from Simon. Hey Steven, ya old timer, you don't need to rub it in, man. That's a joke, old timer, because throwback furniture. Ha, thought of that, I don't know, 3 days ago? Anyway, saw this and thought of you. I also wanted to say the old timer joke. Your old timey pal Simon. Really don't need to rub it in, man, that I'm almost 30. You just don't need to do that. It's a little rude when you get me a board game. Yeah, I'm gonna be needing those soon enough in the retirement home. I'll deal with flowers after I find the money rock. So I get the feeling I'm gonna need to change up my shovel anyway. Evening, Queen. Let's chat. This day ain't over yet, Queen, no matter what the sun says. Sun doesn't even say it's over yet, so... Well, I suppose in-game it's already setting. In real life, you'd be forgiven for thinking it's still like 2 PM. It's not that late in the year yet. Now to try to think of something to actually, like, ramble about today. Oh, well, I have to dig up this flower because it's in my way, but... Because I haven't really done anything today. I should have done a lot more than I have. I played some more World of Warships. Spent like 3 hours playing it. Of which I did find myself already falling back into dealing with that community. Like, okay. I'm gonna just explain the situation. So, someone was in the help chat, basically going, you know, I wish the game would show all the hidden information. There's so much of it. And then when people would be like, okay, what are you looking for? They'd have nothing specific in mind. Then they started rambling about hidden information about the armor schemes on ships. And claiming that they know that there's hidden parts of a ship's armor because they had saw a video on it, and there's a lot more detailed than what anyone seems to think. And it's like, nah. Wargaming themselves have done a video explaining their exact process on designing ships, including showing almost the entirety of the model making process, which tells us with almost absolute certainty those are hollow boxes with a hitbox. That's what the ships in the game are. They don't have internals modeled. Like, your engine isn't modeled. It's a separate splash box within the main box of your ship. It's not a physical thing, it just can take damage. But it doesn't have armor and a specific shape, it's just a box. Like, that's just how it works. That's basically just the simple way of doing it. Everything on a ship is a box within a box, or a box on top of a box, with boxes attached to those boxes. Because that's the simplest way to make models. Like, if you've ever wondered why, like, if you go and look at, like, an old game, the shadows might just be a bunch of squares, even for round objects, it's because everything's a box. Like, that is just how that crap works. Everything you're looking at here is a box. Like, think Sahara's head there. Her nose is a box that is phased into the box that is her head. And they're both visually shaped to look round, but they're a box. You know, her body is a shaped box. Her neck is a box. Her arms are boxes. Like, maybe because it does for me, maybe once I've explained that, now y'all are seeing Sahara as a group of boxes, basically. And the player character's the same way. Like, you make a box, and then you basically make parts of said box transparent to make round shapes. That is more or less how model making works. Especially if you start getting into super old stuff. And like, sure, Wargaming could go through and update all of their models and make some of the most complex models known to man with all their internals modeled, and then we'd have such beautiful things happening, such as a, like, 2mm plate on the internal of a ship, causing a shell to be deflected, and effectively causing no damage. As could happen in reality. Can only imagine the amount of pairs of pants that needed to be changed after that happened. But that is basically something that happened in reality. I forget the ship, or even the exact thickness of the armor, but it was something like a 2 to 3mm plate, which is nothing for thickness. Ended up deflecting like a battleship caliber shell out of a ship, causing minimal damage. Like, the amount of pairs of pants that probably had to be changed because everyone just shit themselves. Like, it would have been quite immense. But, yeah. They don't. And, like, I tried to basically just explain that to this person of, no, wherever you might have heard this from must have been wrong. Well, no, I saw it in a video. It's like, okay, then give me the title of the video. You know, I'm not asking them to send me a link, because then someone could report them for sending non-wargaming links through the help channel, and they could get chat banned. I don't want that. Just give me the title, I'll go look it up myself. Nope, can't give me the title. So you didn't watch anything then. That's what you're telling me. Or else you would tell me the title, because I would happily be wrong in this situation. Except from literally playing the game, I can guarantee that no, nothing has changed. Like, I needed to just not say anything to this person, because, like, all that interaction did was annoy me. And, like, the most frustrating part was them being like, well, I don't want to argue with you, and then just continuing to repeat what they were saying. And it's like, well, if you don't want to argue, then why are you arguing? Like, I don't get it. Evening, Nightshade. What's the latest? Ah, this weather rocks. Just want to lay out and enjoy the weather, Nightshade. That is very fair. I kind of wish I could do that tonight. But I gotta do a lot of recording. But, yeah. I suppose I do actually have something else I can talk about, and it's something I've read recently. So, back in the late 90s, there was a series of crossover comics between Marvel and DC. They were pretty cool comics. Gave us such memorable moments, like the Joker realizing that Red Skull is an actual, 1940s Germany fan. I need to try to think of creative ways of saying it without possibly ending up demonetized in the future. And the Joker refusing to work with him and instead trying to kill him. Because the Joker might be a lunatic, but he's an American lunatic, which sounds about right. get these all planted just here. Pop into the Able Sisters. But yeah, like they had some pretty nice crossovers back in the day. None of them were like particularly amazing, but they had some fun moments. Because both companies were basically wanting to be portrayed as the best. And you can't both be the best. So they just settled for neither got a particularly great showing. Which, it wasn't the worst. It was definitely... those comics were definitely better as spectacles than as proper, like, things. I think... There was a new crossover comic. Literally earlier this month. So my sillies, I'm inside the shop all day, but sunny weather helps me work faster. Maybe it's just I'm making shorter sleeves. Yeah, it scans. That one doesn't even have a whole sleeve. But yeah, like... I was not expecting to ever see another Marvel DC crossover. But I suppose with Disney money behind it, you know. God, I hope that's not pretense of Disney buying DC. That would suck. But, yeah, it was technically, it's a Deadpool-Batman crossover. But, like, that's also maybe, like, 10 pages total of the entire comic. Because it's a 48-page comic with, like, 9 stories in it. None of them have particularly the time they need to shine. The artwork on a few of the pages is, a thing. Just gotta be crafting. You're crafting. It's nice of you to stop by, but I'm kind of preoccupied just now. Jamaican. Currently crafting a floral swag. Just to see how I do at it. So obsessed with it? Yeah, I already know how to make floral swag. Yeah, there's one panel where Thor is in the background, and I couldn't even hope to make the face Thor is making. I don't know what that face is meant to be portraying, but honestly, it was hard to focus on anything on that page other than Thor's face in the background. It doesn't help that he looked like this, like... I don't mean this in any sort of rude way, but he looked like the stereotypical fat lady, if that makes any sense. Like the winged helmet with the blonde hair, and he looked like a balloon. Like, he looked stereotypical, like, Looney Tunes fat lady. Smart green. Just think about how I want to see you. Let's chat. Think about what to do. I almost had an idea. Almost. Yeah, I've been there. I know that feel. I know that feel very well. But, yeah, it wasn't good. Having a total blast boop. Let's talk. Guess what? I was playing single-player hide-and-seek and I won! Or it's to play with Tutu and Caroline and Simon. They're all right here. Peanut! Glad to see you. The latest. Started to come for last-minute dinner plan, tall Nat. I was about to give you a little bit of grief, but you put the fire right out, so it's fine. Hi, how's my bestie, Twinkles? Let's talk. I'm practicing striking a pose. It's an important life skill. It's an important life skill. Never know when you might need to pose. That's very fair. But yeah, like, ultimately though, it was definitely a quick read, but a nice little read. I do hope, especially where it's been issued as a #1, that there might be more. Especially where a lot of the stories ended with a "the end?" ? Because, like, a lot of the little stories we're setting up bigger things, if that made any sense. Like, there was a Captain America Wonder Woman story that basically inserted each other into big events of their own comics. So, like, that would be rather cool to go back and explore that stuff. You know, go through, like, how these events played out in this, this slightly altered canon where Wonder Woman's there too, kind of thing. Like, I feel like that could be pretty cool. But I imagine there would need to be enough interest for it to happen, and I imagine Marvel/Disney would want creative control because, you know, they probably headed over the whole thing, which is why it was probably as messy as it was. I gotta say, some of their little stories, the artwork was atrocious. Artwork is subjective, I will completely admit. I'm not a fan of it. It was a Wolverine and someone storyline. I don't even remember who he was with. But the artwork was not good. I think it was like Wolverine fighting Batman, I think. But the artwork was not good. It was just kind of ugly. And I get it's Wolverine involved. He's not the best looking character, but no. Also, I just thought of this because I Monster Hunter Cup, but can I just say it annoys me to no end how Monster Hunter fans are, at least some of them. Like, I don't want to portray all of us with the same brush, because I know I'm not like this. But there is a good number of Monster Hunter fans who look so down upon the modern games. Like, I'm sorry, but the modern games are better, guys. They're just objectively better games. And I say this as someone who grew up with 3 Tri, 3 Ultimate, Generations, 4 Ultimate. You know, I've played all of those. I've even gone back and played some of the older games, and there's some cool ideas to the older games. I forget the exact one, but there's one of the PS2 Monster Hunters that has dynamically changing regions based on the time of day. So, like, you know, I don't know if this is an actual thing that can happen, but think like water levels changing from tides, you know, different monsters being around and them rotate as you're in a quest because, you know, you set out at like noon, but you're coming back from your, you know, you're coming back from your quest at like 3 in the morning kind of thing. And the monster layout has completely changed. Like, that's neat. And like, the areas that are accessible change. Like, that's a neat idea. I really wish they would do that again. There goes my shovel. I had a feeling. But like, I had saw this because of a post in a Monster Hunter group of someone being like, you know, I've really given Generations Ultimate a good try. And I can't get into it. I started with Rise, you know, and I just cannot get into Generations Ultimate. And there was so many people like, just get good. It's like, they're not even making mention that they're having a hard time with the game. They're mentioning that they're struggling to get into it. And I can see that. Going from a game like Rise, that, one, tells you what skills do. You can press a button to get skill info right in the game. You can't do that in Generations. If you want to know what a skill does, you gotta look it up. Like, and you might think some skills are connected. Like, directly connected as, like, pieces of each other kind of thing. Because, like, you'll get some things where it's, like, the psychic skill has, like, tracker as a level, and then there's one other thing, I forget what it is. They're both part of the same skill of psychic, which allows you to see monsters permanently at max level without needing to paintball them first. Well, now let's imagine you know that now. So if I were to show you Capture Expert and Capture Guru, would you not assume those are the same skill? Just different levels of the same skill? They basically share a name. Except they're not. Capture Expert increases the amount of rewards you get for capturing monsters. Capture Guru, if I remember correctly, God, it makes it slightly easier, like it makes monsters less likely to break from your trap. Now I want to look that up, because like that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. Let me just come to a skill list. Okay. Oh, yes. So, Capture Expert sometimes increases the number of reward items for received on captures. Capture Guru allows you to see when a monster can be captured. That's what it is. It does make it easier. You can also visually see when a monster can be captured because it starts limping. But, you know, this adds an indicator. The game itself does not tell you these things. You need to find this information elsewhere. It also doesn't tell you that skills only matter once they've reached a certain level. So, like, if you're going for HP up, or have something with HP down. Wonder if I can find it. Oh, there's a lot of... Okay, health. There we go. So if you get a piece of equipment that has plus 8 to health, you might assume that means your HP is going to go up by 8, whatever that means, because you're not shown an HP number. But it goes up by 8, and you might convince yourself that your HP bar is bigger. Whoops. Yeah, you need plus 10 before health does anything. And for that, you get plus 20 HP. Game doesn't tell you that. You'll also end up running into a lot of pieces of equipment that, say, will have a total of 8 minus 8 to health. So you might assume there that, well, okay, my health is going to decrease. Nah, it needs to be minus 10 first. And then you lose 10 health. It's not even consistent between plussing and minusing. And again, the game does not tell you this. You have to infer this on your own or buy a guide. Or these days, look up a guide. When Generations first released, you were probably buying a guide still. Especially because the guides online that did exist for Generations when it released on the 3DS would have all been in Japanese. So, you know, unless you speak Japanese fluently, good luck. And it's a case of I've been studying Japanese for like, I think 80 days now. I can read some things. Though, admittedly, a good part of why I feel like I'm kind of lagging in my learning is Duolingo is kind of bad. The more I use it, the less I like it. I'm tempted to actually swap my Duolingo to a different language just to, like, see if maybe it's better in another language. Because it's sure not great in Japanese. But, like, there were so many people basically giving this person shit for not liking Generations because it's the best in the series. That's subjective. Objectively, it's not. But Rise and World and Wilds have all these quality of life changes that make them easier. It's like, except they don't. They're not actually that much easier, if at all easier. But people are entirely basing easier off of the time it takes to complete a quest. You ever think that maybe, just maybe, it's easier and quicker to complete a quest in World and Rise and Wilds because the controls are more fluid and thus you're able to play the game easier. Not that the game itself is easier. I say this because I hate that mentality that, oh, this game's easier than the ones that came before it. Because they're not, though. And that more or less just makes anyone new to the series who might be struggling feel awful because they're hearing, this game's easy, it's for babies. Do you think that's going to make them want to play the older games, guys? Like... And the same goes with Pokemon. People do this there too. And it's just as frustrating with Pokemon as it is with Monster Hunter. Because the newer games are not easier than the older games. Player base grew up. We got better at the games. That's where that's coming from. We're not completely hopeless anymore. We know what we're doing now. And the same goes for the Monster Hunter fanbase. Like, I have gone back and played, like I said, the older Monster Hunters. I'm still slowly working on Generations. Like, I wouldn't say those games are harder. The controls are harder. But that doesn't make the game itself harder. That just means every time I pick it up, I have to relearn the janky controls. Honestly, dealing with the controls in Generations, like, once you get used to them, you can really abuse them. Because once you've learned that monsters can only move a cardinal direction, that makes things so much easier. Because, like, effectively, imagine, like, an 8-directional D-pad. That is how a monster can move. Or a DDR mat. That works too. Just think of like a DDR mat. That is the way monsters move. So, up, down, left, right, and then each of the diagonals. And they will turn a segment at a time. So if you can walk circles around the monster while fighting it, it will just be spinning in a circle as it slowly tries to follow you. Some monsters will just do attacks anyway if you're within a relative cone of those directions. So, like, you can't... It doesn't make you completely safe, but, like, you may as well be. Okay, we got circuit board, lobby. So now we're in the internet. Cool. My front room is the internet. You know, Diva's not wearing her default shirt. That's not the shirt she wears. She's never worn that shirt. Oh, Pinky's coming over. Can hang out, so let me and Boop. And I'm right here. Come on in. Welcome, darlings, to the internet. With wonders I can provide. Hey, superstar. I had a sneaking suspicion you might be home, so I popped by to see you. That's fair. Thought you might like it if I brought you some food. Here, have some food. Alright, we get a peach. We have so many peach trees. No, superstar. So much fun hanging out with you, Boop. So I was passing by your house, thought I could totes just stop and say hey. That's fair. Now that I'm here and all, do you want to play a game? Sure, let's play. Let's play high card, low card. Alright, I don't really want a V-neck sweater. Not really one for V-necks. 2. I'm feeling that 1. It's gotta be the 1. I know it. It's gonna be smaller than 2. It's gonna be the 1. It's gonna be 2121. Ain't worth living in. Oh my... Why? It's because I made the joke, isn't it? It's 2121. God damn it. God damn it, Nirvana High Paladin. Superstar, your interior decorating sense is so fab. I'd learn a lot from you. Let me put that away. I'll put the peach away too. Gonna sit on the chair. Gonna help with the match. Just gonna read a book. So, I think a super weird, maybe evil witch. Is this real? No, huh? Cast a spell on me. I mean, whenever I see your face, I become really happy. So that's why I showed up all of a sudden. Aww. Just kidding. I know there's no such thing as super weird, maybe evil witches. Right? I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, that lamp has been sparkling for a real long time. I think a witch might have been at it. Made it all sparkly. Seems pretty as reasonable as anything. But yeah, like, it drives me freaking nuts how people try to gatekeep things like that, and it's like, maybe I'm the weird one. I'm happy more people are playing Monster Hunter. Like, I don't care what game of that series you're playing. If you're playing it, having fun, enjoying yourself, go for it. I'm glad. Play more. I don't want to be like a time vampire for you. Should probably head home, Boop. Alright. See you later. We have got to get together again sometime. On that note, bye. Wait, can I hold down L to speed up dialogue? That would be neat if I can actually do that. It seemed like her dialogue sped up when I held down L. I have hiccups. Oh no. I don't want to have hiccups. And like, it's also really annoying how there's people like, Monster Hunter Rise doesn't feel like a Monster Hunter game. It's like, how? Well, you're not tracking the monsters. No, you're not. Because you're being fed information by the denizens of the village who have done the tracking for you. They're part of this journey too. You're not completely solo. You know, you're being told, hey, there's a monster out here, go get it. And let's be real, in the older games, you were never really tracking the monsters. You were getting annoyed when you went to the area you thought they'd be and they weren't there. Also, what is the tournament price? 55. Okay. Not the best start to the afternoon. But like, they'll go back to like World, where you were finding tracks and it led you to the monster. It's like, okay. And it was definitely like that for generally your first couple hours of gameplay. And then the moment you found enough of those tracks, the moment you encounter one, you suddenly know exactly where the monster is. How is this different? Like, yeah, sure, you don't have the initial phasing of it. But like, just as an example, like, you could make the argument of like, well, maybe if it's a super fresh track, then you would be able to deduce a monster went that way recently. And you know it's that monster because you've seen that track a lot. And that's a fair argument to make. So when you enter an area and find a old mystery track, and the game tells you it's old, you pick it up and immediately know that this track, and keep in mind, you're in an area, there's two Rathalos, one blue, one regular. You walk into an area, you find a footprint of a Rathalos that's old. You pick it up and your character immediately knows, oh, this was the blue Rathalos. Like, it's a footprint. They're the same, they're a color variation. If it was a scale, I could see it. But you're not hunting the monster. There's no proper hunting to it. Like, and in the older games, in general, you just roughly knew where the monster was going to be. Or you would just simply start a hunt with Oracle running, which is a food effect that was on so many things that basically flashed where the monster was upon you entering the area. There was no tracking then either, because there was no indication the monster had even been somewhere back in the older games. You just had to wander around the place until you found the bugger. Like, that's just how it works. Like, people have such rose-tinted glasses to the older games. And, like, it's also a case of the people saying, like, oh, Rise is easy. Yeah, no, I've heard very different things about the high anomaly level hunts at the end of Rise Sunbreak, is they are actually incredibly difficult. Include basically being some of the hardest hunts in the game. Well, hardest hunts in the series, I should say. Like, that sort of level of difficult. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling now, because I have a lot of work I need to do tonight, and I've already been rambling for like 36-ish minutes. So that's going to do it for this one. I do thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow for more Animal Crossing New Horizons. See you all then.